Episode 188 with Wade at the helm.
The Ultimate Deck Podcast. Need a show about outdoor living? This is where it's at. With your hosts, Shane Chapman and Wade Laurent. Thank you for tuning in. Now let the show begin. Yeah. The Ultimate Deck Podcast. Let's go.
Big changes in the podcast room today, gentlemen.
Big changes.
Yes, sir.
See, because you could hear Kyler.
He got his own mic.
We gave him a mic.
Oh.
Don't abuse that or it'll be taken away.
Real quick.
Or maybe just shut down. Turned off.
Bryce has got his finger hovering over the mute button.
As you're talking, he's...
Oh.
Yeah. So, not that Shane's not in the room. He is in the room. Hello. And because planning is everything, he's still planning.
Okay, you're going to get some quotes. Nobody's going to touch my Bryce.
So we fumbled into the room today.
Hard time 1:30.
Trying to put together a podcast. I left the store at 11:30. No, that's not true. I left it like 11 o'clock. I left the room at 11 o'clock, said to Shane, please come up with a podcast idea. I'll be back at 1:30 for the podcast. And he was like, yeah.
Nope, no problem.
Here we are. It's like well after 2 now.
154.
1:54. Still no idea.
Still no idea.
That's not true. He has an idea. Now he's gathering metadata.
Yeah, he's gathering all the data to talk about
Ooh, data or data?
data.
Kyler?
Data bank.
Data.
That's what
Data.
I think too. Database.
Those are two different words.
Hmm.
I don't know. What other words do you have multiple
That's the only one I could think of right now.
data, composite, composite?
Yep.
I don't know any.
How was your
others.
weekend?
Good.
What'd you do?
What did I do this weekend? Oh, yes. I went to the beach in the 40-degree weather,
It was a little warm.
and I got fully burnt all over my
I think
chest.
that's called a base tan.
Is that what they call that?
That's what I call it.
It was pink, and it really hurt.
Did it peel?
No.
Is it a tan?
No.
You're still burnt.
Yes, I'm still burnt.
Are you using aloe vera?
I use, yes. Aloha Vera.
Aloe?
Aloe vera, yeah.
Okay.
And lidocaine.
And you're still currently using that?
Yes. Every day.
Well, that's a good one.
Yeah, it really hurt.
Typically, I burn early on at the start of the year. One time really, really good.
On purpose, though?
Mm-hmm. Yes, on purpose. And then it becomes a tan. It's my base tan.
Nice.
Kyler, how was your weekend? What did you do?
Waited for somebody to come out and check on my roof that I've been waiting for like 3 months now. So there was a big windstorm, ripped off a bunch of shingles on my house, went through insurance, and I'm still waiting because everyone's booked up because, of course, they are.
Yeah.
So,
Your roof isn't the only one damaged.
Yep.
That's right.
Okay. Well, and that's probably not that big of a deal because we only got, 3 inches of rain on Sunday and Monday. So
Yeah.
probably not too bad.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we'll see. Hopefully there's no leaks in
Did you stick your head in the attic to see if any of the insulation was wrecked?
none of the insulation's wrecked. There's still tar paper, but it's getting there.
Darn.
Uh-oh.
Everyone's booked up till at least September, so might have to go
Okay.
up there and do it myself.
Got a comment from...
Don't do that. Don't do the work by yourself.
No.
Because you've gone through insurance already. And so if you do your own work, you get paid nothing, like nearly nothing, right?
I was just going to nail a tarp up there or something. To
Oh, yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, fine. I'll encourage. I could, yeah.
So we got a comment from Scott Kelly, Precision Construction. Look at this cool format.
This is episode 188. Have we started yet?
Oh, my God.
Okay.
Welcome to the fold.
You know, I should.
See you later. That was
Bye, Shane.
That was a real good podcast.
This is a quick behind the scenes look, everybody, at what it takes to start this podcast. We started early. This happens every time.
Herding cats.
Yes. Scott Kelly also said, thanks, Bryce, for keeping me in the loop.
Okay, so what's going on here? We're on the
YouTube.
We're on
Well,
the YouTube.
I've never watched a live thing on YouTube in my life, so that's why I went to go grab my phone. I was like, I kind of want to check this out.
And so we don't have your phone up here, so we can't see any of the comments.
Well, you can
We're
open your laptop and
a boot too.
You're a boot. That's how Americans clock Canadians too.
Because that's
Speaking of how Americans clock
boot.
Canadians,
Go for it.
because of Ontarians. Ontarians actually say a boot.
you know what?
Apparently we do too, just
No, I
not
don't.
as often.
We don't.
Not as strong, maybe.
Yeah, a boot.
I've given this a lot more thought.
Okay.
Look at that. It just
I really think that when people in the U.S. tell you how far something is, and they tell you how many miles it is,
Yeah.
and in Canada we talk about how long it takes to get there, I believe that the length of time it takes to get there is a more accurate measurement, and that's what people should use.
I agree.
I agree as well.
time.
Time versus actual distance.
Unless it's so far. Like if it's like, how far is Europe? It's not 20 hours away. Then that's
Exactly.
that's how far it is. But if you're talking in a local area that you would drive to, or you would potentially get to,
Yeah.
call it less than 10,000 kilometers.
If you're driving, walking, or biking, it's
Okay.
in distance of time.
So that's why I think it's important. So in the States, when you talk about how far it is from Dallas to Mount Pleasant, they were like, it's umpteen miles. I don't even know how far. I don't know, because my brain doesn't work like that.
It's like 130
Shane,
miles.
it's a mile. Shane, how
mile
far-
a minute generally, right?
No.
A mile a minute if you're driving
95
60
miles an hour.
60 miles an hour. But
How
that's-
far was Mount Pleasant, Shane?
That's
It was
well for how
It was
long it
Shane,
3.5
How
hours.
long was it?
How long was Mount Pleasant?
I have no idea.
90 minutes.
90 minutes?
It took 90 minutes. That's what's relevant. It doesn't matter how many miles it is. It's how long it takes you to get somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know why they make fun of us for that. It's stupid. I
It's
agree.
the most accurate way to measure that, because multiple things. You can drive different speeds. You could do it on a bike. You could walk. It's like, how long does it take you to get to Strasbourg?
Well, if it takes
you
like
half an hour.
a mile to drive on the country road is a lot different than a mile in downtown Toronto.
But if
the
you just-
time matters
But
more.
if you just use Google, like any of the mapping systems, when they tell you the time, that's like pretty accurate.
yeah, because they're accounting for like traffic
They're slowdowns,
density
stops.
and cameras and construction zones and
This is-
maybe even the light changes. I don't even know.
Yeah. So anyways,
Stop signs.
Start using time, in
this
my
is,
opinion.
yeah, it's like, I've been really thinking about it for a while. And that was,
It's
like,
also
not all the time. It hasn't consumed me. I've obviously done other things like shot great golf scores and worked and stuff. But
time is also like a universal measurement.
yes.
If someone says miles to me, I have to convert it into kilometers, and I'm not very
Tell
good
that
at
to
it.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
What?
Jean-Claude.
Come on, as if there's nobody old enough to remember Time Cop.
Oh, time cop.
Come on. It wasn't
didn't-
universal for him. He could bend it.
No, he's the universal soldier.
Anyways,
I could go on.
so here we go.
Please do.
Double impact.
Yeah.
Lionheart.
Okay,
You might
everybody,
as well do it. So you got
Everybody-
nowhere to run, right? Get
Yeah,
after
it's a
it.
pretty hard target to hit.
Like this podcast, so
are
entertaining.
these
it's like a blood
all
sport.
Jean-Claude Van Damme movies?
Yeah,
Is that
you
what you're
bet
doing
it
right now?
It's happening right in front of your face.
Okay.
Yeah, we're double teaming you.
Oh, look at this. This is fantastic.
I think I need to watch TV again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be sudden death.
Who was your favorite childhood action hero?
Jean-Claude Van Damme. JCVD was by far.
Wade? Obviously not Jean-Claude Van Damme.
If you say Steven Seagal, you
No,
have
no,
to
no.
leave the room.
No.
I liked him, but he was for sure. And like
Yeah, something wrong.
now having grown up, I'm like, I totally get why we like Jean-Claude Van Damme. Growing up and seeing Steven Seagal, I was like, I'm not sure what was so appealing.
Probably Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he did both. He was the boxing guy and he was the army guy.
And the cliffhanger.
Yeah,
I really like that movie.
that didn't do it for me.
John Lithgow was the best villain. He's the villain in that movie.
Yes?
Yeah, right?
Yep.
Okay.
You'd be correct.
I would be correct. Kyler, who's your favorite?
I'd say probably Sylvester Stallone too.
Really?
Yeah, or Arnold. I don't know.
Arnold doesn't get any love?
Yeah,
Okay.
can't go wrong.
Okay.
We gonna get after this?
Let's get after
Okay,
it.
do her.
Come on, guys.
Okay.
Do you have any comments to read?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I haven't been watching it. This is so much stranger when it's on YouTube here.
I can read them out too if you want.
Sure.
me to.
Yeah, you go for it if there's anything good.
Okay. Well, Justin Richardson. This is his first time watching the live. Justin from Woodland Deck Co., Ohio.
So don't give up on us yet. I feel like this one's been more disjointed than most.
Yeah, sorry,
What
man.
a horrible first episode to take in. Be like, what the hell's the appeal? But speaking of appeal,
It's a new audience, though.
it is. There is new people in here, so that's a good thing. Same number of people. We just lost a couple and picked a couple up.
Camo's in the house.
Woodland in Ohio, hey?
Okay, so today's topic. Are we ready? Did you have anything fun to do today?
No, not today.
What a
We
day
did
to
it.
not have something to kill time with.
We did. We just did the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie reference
That was pretty solid.
ad lib.
What did we miss? What movies did we miss?
Whoa. Missed The Quest.
What
we
was
missed
that? Oh,
Kickboxer.
Kickboxer. That was a
We
pretty.
missed Bloodsport.
No, I said Bloodsport.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I missed that one.
I was referring to this podcast being a bit of a blood sport or a bloodbath.
I think we got most of them.
Yeah, okay. So today we're going to talk about the top 10 composite deckboard colors
Composite.
thus far in 2022,
In our store.
as per sales in the Ultimate Deck Shop.
As per Regina, Saskatchewan.
And
Saskatoon.
Saskatoon. Don't forget about Saskatoon. So this is probably not relevant everywhere, but it is relevant to us. So this is just us.
So therefore
Having
it
a
gets to go on the podcast.
Therefore.
This is just us having a staff meeting on the mics. That's all this is. Okay, guys, here's what's selling. Here's what we got to sell. Before we get to this, I want to know.
I cheated.
Come on.
Of course I did.
Well, these guys would have no idea. But you want to take a run at this? Top 3 selling colors in the store? I feel
Selling colors?
like- yeah, colors of composite decking or PVC, like maintenance-free decking.
Are you giving us a hint? Is that what that was?
No, I'm just saying. Don't guess pressure treated.
Oh, dang.
That'd probably be number 1.
I'm gonna say Decorators Kaya.
At what number? Certainly, you're not making that number 1.
That's
what-
what,
3.
That's what. That was his number 1.
That was your number 1. Hey, no.
Well, no, I guess my number 1 would probably be like Cottage.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, of course it's cottage.
Of course, it's Cottage.
Cottage has been number 1 for what?
3 years.
4 years
3
running.
years in a row.
Do you know what used to be our number 1? That doesn't even make the top 50 list anymore.
I do.
Cabin.
Silver maple.
Bingo.
What?
So we used to crush TimberTech Silver Maple. It was the number 1 for probably 3 years, 3 years. And now we sell none of it.
That's also
Canadian
that's
territory.
also a territory.
The way I said it, and you jumping in, I was like, he's going for it. He's going for the Canadian reference. Yeah, we don't sell it anymore. Like we stopped stocking it even because it just died off.
Just fell off the
So
map.
strange how those can change. Anyway, number
It
1.
got scratched a little bit easy.
Do you guys want to go in reverse order, or do you
Yeah,
want
we should start at the bottom.
to number 10?
Work our way to the top.
Yep.
Started at the bottom.
Now we're
Now we're here.
here. Number 10, Trex Rocky Harbor was our number 10 selling board up until today, actually. Like until these stats are so fresh.
It changed.
They're actually from after the podcast started. Like,
So
from moments ago.
Rocky Harbor.
Yeah, this one's surprising to me because it was so much higher on the list last year. It was like
was way up
I
there,
should have
wasn't
looked,
it?
but it was like number it was top 4.
It was
for
top 5.
sure.
Most definitely was top 5.
And so it's really fallen off. It was I feel like it was I want to say it was number 2 last year, I think, or number 3, somewhere in there. Like it was high.
Hard to
And
know.
it's fallen all the way to number 10. So still a good seller.
But gracefully.
but-
it hasn't been really mean or anything
Didn't
about
get
it.
too banged up on the way.
No.
No bloody noses, that kind of thing. But
And it's poised really well to move into 5th place
holding its own.
because there's a whack of it on the ground.
So the one thing I don't get about Rocky Harbor
We're motivated.
is how they spell harbor. How did they decide
US
to
way.
spell it? They spelled it the US way?
yeah.
Isn't there one color that Trex does that they spell the Canadian way?
That's Fibron. Spelled
Oh, it's
gray
Fibron.
with an E.
Right.
So aside from gray, because that's pretty hard to get away from.
And they don't spell it the Canadian way. It's spelled the English way because it's Earl Grey is in the tea.
Is that what it is?
Shit, he's probably right.
I don't think I ever got that. Someone said that color's
Okay.
Earl Grey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd never put those two things together until this very moment.
So
How old were you when you found out that the fish couldn't hear you and your dad just wanted you to be quiet? So it was peaceful on the boat.
Whether I'm right or not is irrelevant.
So that whole line is tea names, but right?
Is it?
Latte, mocha,
Oh my God.
Earl Grey,
Latte's not a tea.
chai.
Well, hot drinks then: moringa, latte, chai, Earl Grey,
What's a moringa?
and espresso.
Is it?
Moringa, I had to look up because I thought the same thing. I was like, "What's a moringa?" And moringa was some, I can't remember what. It's like a plant or something they make tea out of.
I just thought they were spelling morning wrong.
It said moringa tea.
That's a spelling error. It's like that's a spelling
typo.
error.
This one,
Let's
this
just
is
say
the-
it convincingly, and they'll follow us.
This one is the line that's named after hot drinks. This one's a line named after a bender of drinks. Get moringa. Are you okay?
This is whiskey and beer. And
Okay. So
we
Dana's
got
in
one
here.
down.
Which most awesomest deck shop has the most adorable accountant?
Who? Dana.
Dana's in here. Our accountant's in here in the live. So she found us, not on Instagram apparently. So that was number 10. Where I was going with that, why would they choose names that have different spellings in the markets they're in?
Right.
Rocky Harbor is like, what are you gonna do here now, right? It could have just picked a name that didn't use an Englishy name that had an OU option to it. And I was gonna think the same thing about the Earl Grey till you said it. Now there's a perfectly valid reason why they would say Grey with an E.
Okay.
Fibron. But number 9 is Fibron, and it's chai. So there's
Chai.
our first hot drink for the
The
list.
sanctuary line has
Chai-
entered the party.
Chai is like a brown then?
No, it's like a warm gray, a greige, as
Greige.
people call it.
Greige.
I call it dirty gray. Yeah, it's like those grays that have like a tanniness to it.
Because it'll hang out on any deck.
Yeah.
Dirty chai.
That's from the Sanctuary line. It's a full thickness board. It's kind of a mid-tier price point. It's in that 5 and change range,
Yep.
Canadian dollars. And so a little bit more money than the Rocky Harbor, but it has outsold it, but not by much, only by 9 boards so far this year.
Okay.
So it's just barely squeezed into 9th place.
They're tied.
They're tied, basically, yeah. A lot of these you could just say are tied. There's really a number 1 and a number 2, and then everybody else is tied.
That's fair.
Number 8 is Decorators Sierra. So there's
Sierra.
our first high-end board in the
Mineral base.
lineup here.
And this is by boards sold.
Yep.
Last
is
year
by-
we did it 2 ways.
This is by boards sold, not linear footage, just by boards sold. And I didn't even bother including the fascia and risers. I just took the boards, the 12, 20, 12, 16, 20, and solid edge boards,
That makes sense.
and put it into this. So Decorators Sierra number 8. That's like I would call it like a medium gray. It's not super dark. It's the darker gray in their lineup, but it's not
Well, it's not dark slate.
super dark.
Right?
Yeah,
Dark slate's way darker.
correct. But it's the first high-end board in the list here. So we've gone from a low to a medium to a high.
To like Island Mist would be a pretty similar color.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, about the Island Mist.
Uh-oh.
Story time. I rolled into the yard last night in Regina. I came from Saskatoon. I was working up there all week. I got home into the Regina yard last night. There was an order sitting outside, banded up, ready to rock and roll.
Okay.
I looked at it and I did not recognize it. I was like, what is that? What is that? From my truck, 10 feet away, angle of the sun, I thought, that's clamshell. And I was like, it doesn't look like clamshell. It's too light. So I got closer and I was like, and it's streaky. And I looked at the end of the board, not scalloped. I was like, what is this? It looks like, is this Island Mist? Look at the tag. Sure enough, it's Island Mist. Have they changed that board significantly in the last number of years?
Don't know.
Number 7 is...
I don't know. I
thought-
don't know. I haven't seen it.
So I haven't, like, we don't stock Island Mist anymore. We used to stock Island Mist.
Yep.
So I haven't seen it a bunch in the last few years. Like, we special order it, but we don't work in the sales floor anymore because we're like
Because your cash out's
incredibly
awful.
successful.
Yeah, because your cash out's awful.
So I just don't see it as much anymore. And last night it looked to me like the base color was much more of a darker gray. It reminded me of the old like the old clamshell that was in the
Oh wow.
enhanced
It was
line.
enhanced originally.
Original enhanced, generation 1. Like that with some more subtle streaking. I remember Island Mist as being a lighter gray with a really dark blackish streaking.
Yes.
in
Well,
it.
that's what our sample is on the wall downstairs.
Right. That too. So I guess I have seen it. That stuff outside, it looks really nice, but it was not even recognizable to me as being Island Mist. So
Wow.
I had to look at the tag to be like, is that Island Mist? Yeah. Strange. So anyways,
Maybe need to spend some time on the floor again.
that one's not on the list. We'll tell you that much.
Not here. It
Not
probably is in the top 10 of like composite deck boards that are sold.
Could be. Number 7, Fibron Tuscan Villa.
Ooh, really good. Really good.
Good lifeline. We're bouncing all over here now.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
It's in their
Yep.
what is it, collection?
I don't know.
Not Weekender. The other one.
Escapes.
Escapes collection. So it's got the
I don't know
variegated
which
streaky-
order they are. The Escapes or the Weekender. I never know.
No, Escapes is the streaky one, and Tuscan's their light brown. It's a nice looking board. If you're looking for like a nice light brown, it's got some nice coloring to it. It pairs well with nicer, darker accents.
So good.
Good embossing, good line.
We
Really
sold
like
a few
it.
of those this year. That's probably why it's a number 7, I guess.
Yeah, it's only like it's like one.
Surprising how that works.
Yeah.
It's one job worth ahead of Sierra for the 7th spot.
Ha ha ha.
Number 6, back to Decorators by a whole 9 boards over Tuscan Villa. We're at Decorators Tundra.
Ooh,
Great color.
everybody
one is
loves
a
that
great color.
color.
It's one of my faves.
Yeah, just a nice light gray, but again, it's kind of that grayish, dirty gray.
But it's like white gray.
It's like your hat.
Yeah, it's a weathered gray. Heathered gray.
Hat's dirty?
Yeah, sturdy hat.
Okay.
Yes, for sure. I need a new one.
Number 5. Okay, we're getting into how far down the list did you look? Like you saw the top
I read the whole list, but my memory is not strong.
Number 5. Now we're at the top 5. You're going to start guessing. What do you think number 5 rolled in at?
We'll just deal
Don't
with this
everybody
later.
speak at once.
So,
It's only 10 boards ahead of the last one, too. So it's
Beach House.
Did you get it?
You got that recording, too, hey? You did get it. It is Fibron Beach House. Well done.
What number was that?
5.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm going to do the rest of them.
Okay. So Fibron Beach House, kind of like a lighter gray. But
You know
with some
the
darker
original
streaking in it?
Island Mist? Like that.
I like that.
Yeah. It used to be kind of like almost not a knockoff,
It's a
but like
light gray with some dark gray streaking. It's so pretty. Okay,
so like that. So that was number 5.
I'm ready.
Just by a hair. These are all so tight. Like every step we go here is like 10 more boards. Like the list could
10
change
more
tomorrow.
boards.
Or it could be out of date now.
Could be changing.
They might have sold one downstairs. Number 4 is,
Kaya.
did you look?
I told you I looked.
But did you you remember, you're not guessing?
I'm
Like,
not
you remember
guessing
the
now.
order?
Now I remember the order.
It is Kaya, Decorators Kaya. So one thing I'll note here is
Should
that
have bet him something.
all the high-end boards thus far have been Decorators.
What do you want to bet?
Decorators Sierra.
What do you want to bet
Tundra,
now?
and Kaya. I don't want to bet. But
Chicken.
the funny thing is, between Sierra, Kaya, and Tundra, they were what? In what positions? 4, 6, and 8. The amount of boards sold between 8 and 4 is 58 boards. So like
That's
they're
the
all
split.
like in a dead heat. Yeah. Number 3.
Clamshell.
It is clamshell.
Clamshell number 3.
And that gets sold almost only as an accent board here.
So I find this a little bit surprising too, because that
Ooh.
also used to be, well, no, it's not low, but I feel like it was a really strong number 2 last year. Like we sold a lot of it.
Well, because we did a couple full decks in it last year.
And now it's kind
This
of
year we
a
haven't really done
distant
that.
third.
Yeah.
A distant third.
It is the gap
Wow.
from, so we
What's
just
the
talked
gap?
about how the gap between all these is like 10 boards from one to the next. The next gap is 500 boards more.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me?
Not even
So
close.
the top 2 have really run away with it this year.
Okay.
I was just
Our producer's back.
trying to
Sorry.
see,
You're making
make that
everyone
really
think it
awkward for
freezes,
him
Shane.
there.
Sorry, guys.
Everyone keeps thinking the stream's freezing. You gotta stop having the dead air.
Right? Because nobody will understand it for sure.
Okay. Then what?
Mark, I thought it froze. It was just Bryce reading on his phone and all of us pausing and staring
Yeah, I was
at Bryce.
looking at me.
That's funny.
Well, it also froze when you asked what number 5 was. And we all just like,
Yeah.
okay, number 2.
You're cut off. Number 2,
Such crap.
You guys, number 2. This is the last guess because everybody knows what number 1 was.
Yeah.
It was cottage.
That was number 1.
That
What's
was
number 2?
one.
Number 2.
I don't even know if I know enough colors to say one.
I don't.
Oh, what shade is it?
How do you market things when you don't know the things you're
Habana
marketing?
color.
Hey,
I make the videos, man.
Good God.
You talk about it. I just edit them.
Bryce is like Kyler's got no shot at this, but Bryce could have a shot at this. Fibron is the brand.
It's the Escapes collection.
Oh, that's really narrowed it down for you.
No.
We've already talked about.
Shocking that Rocky Harbor is so low when this one is not.
We've talked about 2 of the escapes already in here, so it's not those ones. There's only 2 left.
I haven't memorized this.
Cabana. Fibron Cabana.
Said
Habana.
Habana.
That's what I said.
Well, my
Sounds
mind went
like-
straight to Havana Gold.
Sounds like Habana.
So yeah, by a whopping 500 board leap from number 3.
What's the difference between Cabana and Rocky Harbor?
Oh,
the difference? What?
How many boards?
Cabana.
600 boards. Why?
Where's Rocky Harbor? 700 boards. 760 boards.
Isn't that crazy? Like those 2 colors are so similar.
So,
They're not the same, but they're so similar.
and because number of boards has no contacts without knowing them, it's over double. It's 2.5. It's sold 2.5 times more
yeah.
than Rocky Harbor. So that is surprising. And we knew that was going to happen. It started to happen last year because Cabana came out, and I believe if you roll back to that podcast talking about that, we probably say like, this is about to chew into some Rocky Harbor numbers. And I know just for booking purposes, it was like, don't book as much Rocky Harbor as you thought based on your sales last year because Cabana is going to cut into that a bit.
Cabana's a newer color.
Yeah.
2 years old.
They're both fairly new. Like Rocky Harbor's only been out for
3 years, maybe.
4 years, and Cabana's out since last year, right?
Yep.
And so it is a newer color, and it's crushing.
But the reason I believe that it does better than Rocky Harbor is that it's more durable. So similar price point.
Yep.
It might be less expensive now because Trex had some increases and Fibron hadn't.
Yeah.
Anyways, similar price point, but Cabana is much, much more durable.
I believe too when you stand at the wall and look at it,
Would you just
aside from looking at the high end boards, that Cabana pops off that wall the nicest. I think as far as those grayish colors go, they kind of nailed it the most because there's a bunch of them out there.
a plethora.
And another one of my favorite ones in that grayish is the Wolf Silver Teak, which there's not a single Wolf board on this list this year. There was last couple of years, I believe.
Yeah.
That one's really nice too, but it's also a $7.50 board.
It's expensive.
Cabana you get in for $3.99, I think.
$4
$4. And so it's a really decent price point, and looks wise, it looks really nice and expensive.
It's really good.
So it's that perfect blend. Because I think with Beach House, I would like it if it had a bit more dark color in Beach House. Like if it was differentiated from Cottage more, I think.
Okay.
But Cabana looks great by like just the way they did it.
And the plug option was available earlier. They were early adopters of the idea of a Cortex plug or a
Right. Well, Trex still hasn't adopted it. There's just
everybody else has.
Starborn and Cortex is just we're going to make it for them anyway.
Yeah.
And Trex is like, don't use those.
Don't use those.
Well,
Voids your warranty.
It's because they're trying to sell the more expensive boards.
Yeah.
Like I understand what they're doing.
Yep. Number 1 is Cottage, and it's another 500 board leap ahead of Cabana.
Makes
So
perfect sense. to
it's
me.
like not even close. And we know we've got a big order of that sitting in the yard waiting to go that's not in these numbers yet. So by the end of the year, that gap is probably going to widen even more.
Won't be close.
Like that
Holy
number will
smokes.
double again.
It
Like
might-
it'll be a big gap.
Cottage might be what all the other ones are added together.
That's possible. Like you're
Every
gonna add,
other board in the yard.
like you're going to add that many boards again on that one order probably.
Yep.
Another 1,700 boards or something.
26 lifts.
So, yeah, times 56. So there you go.
Holy
Try and call it 16 footers as an average, you know?
So that's the list. Top 5: Cottage, Cabana, Clamshell, Kaya,
Beach House.
and Beach House. Right, you had it memorized. That's right. Mark Westrom says Cross Timbers didn't make the list. Cross Timbers.
It's pretty early to be drinking, but
Moringa.
Moringa.
TimberTech didn't make the list. Is that what he's wondering?
Probably.
Anyway. So TimberTech blanked. We don't stock TimberTech anymore. So that would be why I didn't make
Gotta
the list.
explain that.
We don't, like, we still had some of it in the yard this year to sell through, but we the distribution fell off the face of the earth for us, and we stopped carrying it. And so it won't make the list as a result of that. Any surprises on here, Wade?
Yes.
Oh, he says that was an old Guardian product. That was a joke that went over at least my head.
Went over mine as well.
Sorry, Westrom. He's just older than you all.
I was going to say, you're younger.
Yeah, not by much. It's hard to pull that off now. Although we did have another situation up in the Saskatoon store where the guys did not believe that you were only a month older than me.
Yeah.
I had to tell them about the stories.
Because of my maturity level?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah. Because they're like, there's no way that somebody as mature as you guys would eat 4 Frosties in one day. That wouldn't.
Yeah.
You must have parents, like you have kids, right? Like you guide other people's lives, correct? Yes.
Don't do
Okay.
this. Chomp,
Right.
chomp, chomp.
First, you have to experience it to not tell people not to do it.
I will, right? That was a bad idea. I can tell you from experience, don't do that. Number 4, Kaya being up there as high as it was is a surprise for me.
Yeah. I'm
dark
surprised
brown
that,
like that being that high.
that Costa was not on there. Costa. I'm surprised that Costa is not on that list.
That is a good
Observation.
observation
You're
because
welcome.
last year it absolutely was. I can't remember where it was, but it was a strong, like middle of the pack, like a 5-6 in there or
And
something
I
like
felt
that.
like we sold a bunch of that at the start of the year. I
We
thought,
did sell a bunch of that last year, but I think that was heavily inflated by a couple massive jobs. We had like
Last year, yeah.
we had some contractors up in Saskatoon that did a couple of really big ones, and we had a contractor in Manitoba that did
almost
a few
exclusively
big ones.
installed.
It was like Costa, like left, right, and center. So that one I think got boosted last year, but yeah, that's a good observation as well. And then I think the only other surprises for me is how much some of them aren't high on the list. For
Yeah.
example, there's one major omission this year. That was a major, like a number 4 last year. Foggy Wharf,
Oh, yeah.
not even on here. Right? Trex
Yeah.
Foggy Wharf was a top 5 board last year. I feel like number 4.
I wonder why.
It did really well. And then this year, poof, gone.
And it's a gray. It's not like gray.
Did we move some stuff around on the showroom floor? Did we change the location of those boards?
Yep. We sure did.
What? No, like
Yeah,
on the wall or
on the wall?
Yeah.
We sure did. We put the Trex on the opposite side of where it was last year.
Yeah, but I would arguably say that's in a better position this year.
It is.
It's
Fibron's in
where
the corner.
Fibron was last year, which was like the first wall, the start of the wall.
Yep.
That's where you start to look.
Yeah, weird.
So I don't think it's that. Like there was a price increase on that, and so now it's maybe like from a psychological perspective, it's mid-tier price now because before it started with 3 and now it starts with the 4. Whereas the Fibron Beach House, which would be a competitor to that, is still starting with a 3.
You know what? As soon as our Trex ads start to get out there a little bit more, you used Foggy Wharf as a dinosaur in that one, and
It's right over here.
Yes.
I believe that should probably like
We
really
should try
blow it
that.
up.
You think that'll
Well,
our Bronto Foggy Wharfosaurus?
Like that Foggy Wharf is closer to what that Island Mist looks like outside than what I was
You're
expecting. The
still
Island
on
Mist
the
look.
Island
Yeah,
Mist thing?
because I'm just looking at it now. I'm like, that's what it looks like out there.
what?
But a little bit dark. Yeah, I'm not shitting you, man. I'm telling you. We'll go look at it together afterwards.
Go hold hands and walk through.
I have other things to do.
I think Tuscan being on the list is surprising a little bit.
It's a good news story.
Number 7.
I like Tuscan Villa.
So you mentioned Costa. Costa was just barely missed at number 10. No, that's not true. It would have come in around like
100.
number like, it would have been number 12 or 13-ish on the list.
Okay.
So just missed by a little bit.
The other day I saw that you were looking for golf lessons in Saskatoon. How'd that go? Did you get that lined up?
No.
Nobody reached out. Nobody took the bait.
No, a guy did reach out. Well, so Tyler, you mentioned Tyler already, reached out to me and was like, my buddy does
Like compound?
lessons. Yeah.
Okay.
And he's going to check with Will and see if they're okay with him like offering them there and
Okay.
get back to you. And then he did. And he's like, hey, he said he can do Wednesday night. And are you free? And I was like, crap. No, I'm not anymore because I was supposed to come home Thursday, but now I'm coming home Wednesday. So A, I won't be here, and B, I didn't bring my clubs. So it fell through, but maybe in 2 weeks' time when I'm back up there.
Okay.
So
Tyler's going to take me out as well. We're going to go to the Vanskoy 3D archery range and give that a whirl next week. So
Not do golf lessons.
I don't need golf lessons. I'm on fire right now.
okay. That's it for me. So that's the top 10 list. If there's any surprises, we'd like to hear about it. I'm curious, like, what do you think other, like, Transcend, obviously, you know what we should talk about is those 2 new boards that showed up here.
Oh, yeah.
So not on the list yet.
They likely won't be in the store.
Nope.
Making the list, but those boards are dynamite.
Trex Transcend Lineage line.
Yeah.
Now, this is a surprise to me because I didn't think that they were even going to show up. Yeah, if you want to grab them. The last I heard, these were only going to be available this year in the northeastern U.S.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't even...
These are the premiums?
Worried about them. I don't know where they're priced at. I would suspect they probably priced them north of the current Transcend line. But...
Trex Transcend.
I talked to our Taiga guy, rep up there yesterday or the day before, and he's
Logan?
like, hey, I've got some...
It's so
Logan,
great because
and-
you get to just visit with Logan in each location.
Yeah.
Each location
Larry?
has a Logan. Only one location for Larry.
So he said, I've got some samples for you. I'm meaning to bring over to you of the new Lineage stuff. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, cool. I'd like to see it in person. He's like, yeah, because it's going to be in stock in Edmonton. I was like, what? I thought this was only in the U.S. He's like, yeah, that's what they told us too for like 5 days. And then later they were like, turns out they're going to expand it to Canada now too. So this is in stock in Taiga, Edmonton, so we can get it. It's just not in stock here. It's special order. But how do you think these look compared to the current Transcend boards?
Way better.
Way better.
It's not even like way better.
Mm-hmm.
A good move would be to get rid of the Transcend engraving, embossing, and do this one.
No knock on the Transcend line. It's been great for a lot of years, but this is significantly nicer looking.
This is an
Significantly
upgrade.
more realistic looking, both on the embossing and on the coloring. It's not so blotchy of a coloring anymore. Like it's just like this is almost more what the Island Mist looks like out there. It's darker.
Maybe that's what happened.
Yeah, they sent them some Lineage. So this is much more on trend with what's out there right now. Like with what AZEC did with their vintage line and with what Paramount Fibron did with their Promenade line. That kind of
Decorators.
like linear. And did Decorators look?
That reminds me of it looks like a Decorators. They both kind of look like Decorators colors.
Yeah, the colors and the texture
And the embossing. Yeah.
right. Less of those like big like obvious knots and like streaky that used to be more popular in like the early 2000s maybe or
The 90s, early 90s.
The 90s, back with Bart Simpson.
70s, like
These are really
the golden
good.
oak cabinet look.
Really good.
Yeah, these are very nice. So well done, Trex, on the aesthetic of these new Lineage boards. Quite fancy. On the back, they look exactly the same.
But the colors are also like, you want to talk about the colors is like they're in
Hold them
the
up higher.
top 10 shade.
Yeah, like this one is money. This one I feel like is very blue. And for the same reason that Foggy Wharf dropped off our list, I'm guessing the Biscayne, if that's how you say it, Biscayne is going to be much more popular than what's that one called?
Rainier.
Right. Than Rainier. Because
This is the
warmer colors are becoming more popular versus the bluish grays, which we've been saying for years. And it's like, I think it's actually starting to happen now. We just kept talking about it until it did happen. But if you look at the list,
Maybe
like,
the world was listening.
well, look what you got on the list here. Cabana, Tundra, what was the other one? Chai, Rocky Harbor. Those are all those kind of grayish boards. And this one is too. And this right here looks nicer than all of them. Like this, the color, they nailed it on this one. I really like this one.
Okay.
This one looks really nice too. It's
Why
just
don't you
a little
marry
bit
it then?
bluey. I might.
I don't know why people think you guys weren't the same age. That little toddler.
Oh yeah, you like it so much? Well, why do you marry it then?
Yeah, I think it was Chris. He's like, so like, he must have asked me like, so how much older is Wade than you or something like that? I was like, 1 month, and he laughed. And I was like, seriously, no. I was like, yep, March 20th and February 19th. He's like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah, well, just give me a couple days. By the time I leave here, when my beard grows out a little bit and it's gray too, then that'll make sense to you. But yeah, 1
I'm
month.
gonna light him up when I get up there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Wait, you should go up there, but you
With a
should
cane.
You should just ferment your whole beard before you get up there.
So for
like black.
for years,
Super fake, like spraying shit, and don't even grin. Like walk in straight, dead serious.
what's up, guys?
That'd be so good.
So for years, I've joked about like betting somebody, and I don't know what like the bet would be or what, but if I was to lose, then I would dye my hair black. Like,
yes.
like redo it all brand new black. Anyways, because I think that would be horrific looking. But
So I had the black earlier. Well, last year with the dancing thing, I dyed my hair black with a permanent dye, and then somebody at the competition was like, "Why didn't you just use like a spray, like a temporary one?" I was like, "Well, I never thought about that. I'm not well versed in dyes. I didn't know that was an option."
yeah,
So I had black hair for a month and a half or longer. So anyway, that's it today. Check out these Lineage boards if you want to see something new. They're very nice. Top 10 list. Cottage is the winner. Fibron is the winner overall. See you guys next week. Take it easy. How'd the YouTube go? Good?
Good.
Love it. We'll be on YouTube next week too.
Hey, thank you for listening to the Ultimate Deck Podcast. Now you know what we're about. Check the site, come and shop. UltimateDeckShop.com. Hit us right away for sponsorships, or tell us if you want to collab.